Hi, I'm Marc and welcome to my channel Bookstagramm. Today I have my top 5 fantasy books for your Christmas vacation for you. And it starts with The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. The first tourist is on tour on the Discworld, and the magician Rinsmond is haunted by bad luck. First he is attacked by an addicted spell, then he loses his job in the Invisible University. From then on, he hired himself as a tour guide for the first tourist on the Discworld. And of course, pretty much everything goes wrong on the trip. This is the beginning of Terry Pratchett's legendary Discworld cycle. Terry Pratchett owed his worldwide fame and large fan base to those Discworld novels, which appeared in 1983. The stories in this series of novels are set on the Discworld, which is flat and carried by 4 elephants, which in turn stand on the back of a giant turtle that kind of rose through space. The Discworld stories are not just classic fantasy novels set in a fictional world, they parody classic fantasy and science fiction motifs, as well as topics from everyday life such as rock and roll, movies, press credibility, religion, philosophy, economics, Chinese and Egyptian history, politics, and that means forms of government, war, and much more. It's really fun. And now we continue with The Mortal Instruments, The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. 15-year-old Clare lives in New York with her mother Jocelyn. When she is kidnapped under very strange circumstances, Clare reveals a well-kept family secret. Her mother was once a shadow hunter, member of a brotherhood that has hunted demons for over 1,000 years already. When Clare herself is attacked by dark figures, the equally attractive and mysterious Jace saves her life. He takes her to the group's New York Institute, and little by little, Clare is drawn deeper and deeper into this fascinating world. But a deadly power struggle between good and evil threatens to tear apart the community of demon hunters. Will Clare and Jace manage to save Jocelyn and save the world of shadow hunters from doom? Well, you might have seen the movie or the series, but nothing like the books. By the way, they differ from the series in quite a few ways. And my next top 5 fantasy book is The Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. In the remote village of Ammonsfelde, old stories are still being told about the Dark King and the magicians of the Aes Sedai who turn the Wheel of Time. Nobody suspects how much truth there is in these legends. But then bloodthirsty Trollocs, the Dark King's rulers, invade the village, leaving a trail of devastation. The magician Moiraine helps the friends Egwene, Rand, Perrin and Mat to escape at the last minute, as she senses that one of them will change the fate of the world. The series adaptation as a series just started on Amazon, and to be honest, I'm not that enthusiastic about the first few episodes, but we will see. The last 2 books are of course absolute classics. First up I have A Song of Ice and Fire, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin for you. Eddard Stark, Lord of Winterfell, is called to the court of his king to assist him as an advisor and confidant. But schemers, assassins and unscrupulous nobles crowd around the throne, whose whisperings the weak king has nothing to counter. While Eddard sees himself surrounded by powerful enemies, his son, the future ruler of the North, faces an ancient dark force. The future of the Empire depends on the Lords of Winterfell. The first volume for the series sensation Game of Thrones, of course. There's probably hardly anyone who hasn't seen this series. However, this first volume is still one where the series is very close to it. Later, from my point of view, the series moves further and further away from the books. Therefore, it's definitely worth reading the books as well. And finally, there is no other option than Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. The setting of The Lord of the Rings is Middle-earth, an alternate world, and tells of the dangerous quest of some companions that ends in a dramatic battle against evil. By a strange coincidence, the hobbit Bilbo Baggins gets a magic ring whose power, if it got into the wrong hands, would lead to an absolute reign of evil. Bilbo gives the ring to his nephew Frodo via Gandalf, the magician, who is supposed to destroy the ring in the Rift of Fate. Hobbits are small, cozy people, but surprisingly tough at the same time. They live in a rural idyll, the Shire. Well, even I can hardly believe it. Recently, I actually met people who had neither seen the films nor read the books. But even if you've seen all of the films, I can only recommend that you read the books as well. I hope I was able to give you a few tips for your Christmas vacation. If you still have suggestions for fantasy books for the other viewers, please do write a comment below the video. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.